going to make you insane. I really shouldn't be doing this. It's 10 o'clock on Saturday. Really don't have time for this bullshit. But anyway, stick him later. I haven't got any nap and I'm tired and it's just stupid of me. But anyway, I'm going to do it now because I started watching the video. It just pissed me off. He's just saying bullshit again. He's just so full of fucking crap. It's just preposterous amounts of crap. So anyway, so now he's in the middle of his long drawn out appeal to popularity again. So again, we're going to let the common man define the truth. Right? And if we let the common man define the truth and put him in the jury, he's going to say angels exist. He's going to say preposterous, absolute fucking nonsense. So again, this is just so stupid. You logically test a theory of truth, okay? You have to make a logical proof of its flaws or its fallibility. You don't go ask Joe Sixpack what he thinks, because guess what? What he thinks doesn't goddamn matter, because he's a stupid fucktard. And so are you. And especially on this kind of question where he is convicting the theory that life is stupid based on the theory that the optimists don't think it is. Yeah, right. The optimists think the pessimists are too pessimistic. Duh. Just like the slave owners thought those abolitionists were a little bit too much into this whole love your fellow man thing. You're just an idiot. This is bullshit. This is fucking kindergarten argumentation. Come on, grow up.
Right? And that's just a fact of life and fairness and justice.
Well, again, justice. We don't, like I said, we don't use the legal system to define the truth. All right? Like again, if it's in America, the truth would be that Jehovah exists. Yeah, no, I'm not obligated to believe that nonsense, fuckwit.
Journalists are not fit to judge whether life on Earth is worthy of living. For the record.
Yeah, whatever. You can keep talking about it. I can just turn that argument right around on you and just say you're the one with the stupid blindness. You're the one with the bias. If I lived in slave times with my current knowledge, I should be hysterically upset by what's going on. If I was a common man in Nazi Germany, living next door to a concentration camp, I should be profoundly disturbed by what's going on. All right, these are the practical, real reactions that people should be happening. If anybody's looking at the stupid world now and the way animals live, and if they understand sentience and that human beings aren't the only sentience on this planet, they should be goddamn upset. All right, so the fact that you aren't just means you're an insensitive, ignorant jackass. Just like all the evil fucktards of the past who, through their insensitivity and grotesque ignorance, could commit crimes against sentience. Alright, yeah, I'm grown up, fuckwit. I'm not as dumb as you. I'm not as ineloquent as you. I'm not a dumb fucking animal who believes in fables and fairy tales. You believe you talk to fucking snakes. Why the fuck should I listen to you regarding anything?
The planet Earth. If they want to judge it for themselves, great. If they don't want to have kids, yahoo yippee. They were probably badly parented.
It doesn't fucking matter. I have a right to say what I think is ethical and what I think is unethical. If somebody's owning slaves, I can say, fuck you, you're not allowed to own slaves. I have my opinion. I think it's a goddamn rape. I think it's a fucking crime to take from another thing's welfare, to use it to rub your dick. That is bullshit, and I'll say it's bullshit. Alright, and you're not going to stop me from saying it's bullshit, you motherfucking cunt. So shove your censorship and you're not entitled to an opinion up your fucking grisly, stinking, smelly ass.
Which is why they're so fucking miserable now.
Now, we're so fucking miserable because half-wits like you, dumb motherfucking cunts who couldn't use their goddamn brain to make a simple calculation, said, I'm going to have children. Why? Because you're an ego, as you admit. Because you're a fucking psychotic, egomaniacal, crazy fuck.
But they're at great risk of passing on that misery to any offspring. So if they don't...
Yeah, what a pile of crap, shithead. How did I get it then, shithead? Alright, where in my family? You gonna find it in my family tree? I don't think so, shithead. Everybody in my family could kick your fucking ass, you fucker. So that's just bullshit. Bull fucking shit.
Want to breed? Cool, don't breed. You know, You know,
Yeah, so you can't see the logic of this, right? So if you're opposed to nuclear power plants, just say, well, I'm opposed to nuclear power plants, but you go ahead and have one in your yard. Well, I'm opposed to having a cannon in my backyard, but if you want a cannon, go ahead and have a cannon. You're this fucking dumb. I don't personally want to own slaves, but if you want to own slaves, go ahead. I don't personally rape women. It's natural, just to take, because, we are bigger and stronger. But I don't really choose to exercise that physical, natural right. But if you want to, go ahead. No, fuckhead. That's not how it works, shit for brains.
problems with that. I have problems with anti-natalists trying to convince everybody else on the planet that life is unworthy of living.
Oh, you have a problem with us making an argument. Well, too fucking bad. Ha 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 ha. I hope your problem festers and I hope you rot and fucking... Yeah, well, you know what I mean. Yeah, well, you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm sorry about your finger, though. I do empathize. I actually did that, too. My middle finger is completely fucked. It's just dead at the end. I mean, it still has sensation, but it's not like rational sensation. It hurts when nothing's wrong, and then it doesn't hurt when it's supposed to, and, But, yeah, it is a bitch to rip your finger off and then try to glue it back on. Yeah, it's no fun.
Because there are people who are going through transient, emotional, psychological traumas.
Oh, whatever, again. So just ignore having an argument. Ignore making an argument. Just play some kind of... The argument from, we'll call you emotional, or we'll call you crazy, or we'll call you something else. Well, fuck you. Fuck that bullshit. Either make a rational argument, or, yes, shut the fuck up. I got no use for you. This is bullshit.
Who could very easily be pushed towards the suicide trap.
Yeah, trap how? Again, so go ahead, make your argument for how grievous and horrid it is for somebody to kill themselves when they're not terribly pleased with being here. Yes, they should live and be miserable instead. Great argument. Fuck you, you're an idiot.
Permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Oh, yeah, right. It's a solution to the problem. It's a hell of a lot better than no solution to a permanent problem. Yeah, that's what I would say. And it's a hell of a lot better than somebody hanging around, taking some pills, and then end up getting themselves into a big fucking mess where they have kids, and their kids end up with their same psychiatric problems. So that's bullshit too, isn't it? Yes, that's right. It's bullshit.
So yeah, I'm not in favour of antinatalism, and I'm prepared to state my...
Yeah, well, guess what? It had nothing. Our argument had not a goddamn thing to do with anti-natalism. I didn't give a fuck that you don't like anti-natalism. You're a fucking idiot who thinks he talks to fucking snakes and he makes deals with snakes. Okay, you're a lunatic. You're a fucking goddamn idiot. You're so stupid and idiotic, you're a goddamn lunatic. If you're dumb enough, you're an actual lunatic. Alright? And so this has to do with your lying motherfucking jackass behavior when it comes to your goddamn propaganda for your stupid fucking sunfoil. That's what this fucking fight's about, shit for brains.
Here's on it. Gary doesn't like people tearing him down. That's how he...
I don't like liars. Okay? And you're a fucking liar.
says it. I've spent years building this up and you want to tear it down. Well, no, I just think it's crap. But
yeah, well, I think your sunfoil is crap. I think it's crap theory. I think it's crap as practice. And I think you're full of shit. And I don't think you have any deal with the snakes or the spiders or platypuses. And I think you're a cat killer, too.
Anyway, the next question I asked was, how does Gary regard @Desertphile's endorsement of the Sunfoil project? And Gary decided that Desertphile has shot himself down in the credibility stakes because Desertphile can't see that the Sunfoil breaks any laws or rules of chemistry, physics, thermodynamics, electrochemical storage, photovoltaic power generation, power mechanics.
The issue is whether or not it's an efficient application of technology. Is it efficient? That's the question, shit for brains. And it's not sufficiently efficient. It's another one, just like life isn't sufficiently efficient. Solar panel on car is not sufficiently efficient. And even if it has some efficacy, even if you could justify the cost of the panel's production and the amount of energy it produces being justifiably applied to a battery, when the alternator creates more energy than the solar panel produces in a whole day in 3 minutes, even if all of that you could get around, okay, it would still be better to not put it on the car and to have a station pointed at the sun to collect the solar energy and recharge batteries that way, and then take the energy and move it to the car battery. Yeah.
Power transmission, electromechanical.
And your complaint against that was it's too much trouble to plug it in. That was your argument against a stationary platform. It's too much trouble to plug it in and unplug it. Right? It's not too much trouble to custom carve it, to, put holes in the roof, go through all this crap to put this stupid panel on a car. That's not too much trouble, but it's too much trouble to plug it in and plug it out. Plug in, plug out. That's how long it takes. Plug in. Okay, I'm done. Plug out. Oh yeah, I did have to walk to the car, but I was going to be doing that anyway, right?
Generation. Basically, the sunfoil doesn't break any physical or scientific law.
I don't think that's Desertphile's video wasn't about whether it breaks a law. So I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. The point is obviously Desertphile didn't even watch your fucking videos because he didn't understand that you were claiming a 25% fuel burn increase, or decrease, efficiency increase. The Desertphile didn't say anything about that. He said a slight energy savings. 25% ain't fucking slight.
What it does is a bit of an end run on the theory that the only reasonable way to recharge a car battery is to burn fuel in the engine and drive a torque multiplying step-up belt to turn an alternator at some speed other than it's most efficient for generating electricity.
Yeah, well, as I pointed out, the better solution is to, fuck the alternator, okay, except to have it as a backup, and use generators on the axle as brakes, as first cause brakes. So every time you're slowing down or going down a hill, you engage the generators, they recharge the battery, okay, and you also brake your car at the same time. So you don't waste the energy on heat, you get the energy back to recharge your battery, and you don't have to use the alternator.
That's what the Sunfoil project does. And it's not a 25 watt panel, Gary. I've never put a 25 watt panel on any car. Here's my car, and the panel is in dappled shade. And look at that, see? It's a...
Oh, whatever. Yeah, it's not 25 watts, it's 30 watts. Wow. And it's not pointed at the sun.
A 30 watt panel. A gallium arsenide panel that uses a different wavelength to the silicon panels, and that's why it's about 30% bigger than a 30 watt silicon panel. But it has the advantage of being better at making electricity under clouds because it uses a different wavelength of light. And if we come down here and we go in through the window, which didn't work because of the glare on the glass, but here you can see that the battery is fully charged. And that's what the charge controller says. And the full sunlight has not yet been on the panel this morning.
Well, maybe the car hasn't been out of the fucking yard either. Oh, Christ.
The reason that the shaded panel is able to fully charge the battery is because the panel is designed to fully charge the battery on a rainy day. It's just going to take 10 hours, whereas it's going to take 2 hours of full sunlight to recharge the panel after a hypothetical 24 hours in the car park. Now, in that 24 hours in the car park, the lead acid battery is going to lose, otherwise, if it was left to itself sitting on a rock, it would lose 1% of its stored charge to chemical sulfation. 1% of 95 amp hours is 0.95 of an amp hour, and that doesn't sound like much until you consider that the starter motor on this vehicle only uses 0.05, a 20th of an amp hour. So
Well, I don't know. You'd have to point that out. So your car starts so quickly that you use less amperage than the car battery loses in one day starting the car. I mean, I can't say that's wrong, but I'm just saying, turning an engine over is more than, let's calculate the watts an hour, right? I mean, 30 watts for say 10 hours of sunlight a day, so you got 300 watts of electricity. Well, you're going to use, pretty close to 300 watts, aren't you? Starting a car.
in sulfation, the battery loses enough energy to start the engine 19 times. And that's not the only place the current goes when the car's in the car.
Well, I don't buy that argument at all. 19 times? It doesn't lose enough to start a car 19 times. I don't buy that, not for a minute. Because by that calculation, 19 times 100 would be 1,900 starts on a battery that's charged. You should get 1,900 starts out of a battery that's never recharged again. I don't buy that for a minute. You might get 100. You're not going to get 1,900.
Right. There's a dashboard clock and a stereo memory chip, and I've measured them. They suck 1/10 of an amp between them. 24 hours times 1/10 is 2.4 amp.
Well, again, I'm just going to, you can just keep playing these games, okay? The point is that if you can recharge a battery in a lot of different ways, and that's the question here. What's the most efficient way to get energy into a battery? And again, I can just talk about how much energy an alternator produces every 5 minutes. All right? And it's a lot more than a 30-watt panel on the roof of your car.
Hours. So the vehicle loses from its battery 3.35 amp hours. Right? Which has to be put back into the battery next time you start the car. You have to burn fuel to kiss and make up for the time in the car park. 3.68 amp hours. And because it's a 25% efficient engine, the alternator reaches a maximum efficiency of 50%, but it doesn't spend much time running at its peak efficient revs. So its average efficiency is 25%.
Well, then that should be fixed, right? Okay, I mean maybe alternators should not turn on until they're going to need until the battery's low enough for them to go full power. So if it's not doing full, it shouldn't turn on at all.
And there's a 2-to-1 step up built between the 25% efficient engine and the average 25% efficient alternator. So we wind up with an electric generating system that is 3.5% efficient.
Well, you say that, okay? So again, that's one of your claims. So I wonder if Desertphile would agree with you that alternators are 3.5% efficient. I think that's an absolute crock of shit. Okay, they have a lot less loss than that. They don't get that freaking hot. I've worked on them. They do get warm, but they're not that wasteful. I mean, the diodes, blah blah blah, this, that, and the other thing. But the bearings are good. So this is just bullshit. I'm sorry, this is bullshit. They're not 3% efficient. That's just bullshit.
At turning petroleum into electricity. 3.5%.
Well, again, you can say the number as many times as you want. I don't think that's the truth. I think that's crap.
I've got a Chinese 2-stroke electric generator that's 10% efficient. 3 times better than my car at turning petrol into electricity. It means that to get 50 amps or 1 horsepower out of...
I'm not going to argue with you, but that's just crap. I'm sorry, that's crap. It's crap. Okay, so here's a premise for your argument that's crap.
My alternator at full output.
I mean, really, an alternator is producing a frickin' horsepower of electricity. 700 watts. Okay? So if it was as inefficient as you're saying, an engine would have to be like 70 horsepower. You'd have to be putting 70 horsepower into it, into the alternator. That ain't happening, fella. The belt wouldn't even stand that much torque.
I have to put 8 horsepower into the belt on average. If I'm at the...
Yeah, well, that is just, that's crap. Okay, I'm sorry. That's crap. That is what's called crap.
right rev speed, it might be only 4 horsepower, but most of the time I'm not at the right engine alternator peak efficiency rev band.
And it doesn't matter. Again, in 5 minutes, the alternator produces more electricity than the solar panel produces in an entire day. In 5 minutes. Okay? The alternator produces more electricity at peak than the solar panel produces all day. For somebody to believe what you're saying, they would have to believe that if they left their car running for 5 minutes, they're going to use 25% of the fuel they'll use in the whole day. They'll use in that 5 minutes. That's your theory. In that 5 minutes, they're going to use as much fuel as they're going to use as it'll be 1/4 of their entire day's use of fuel will just be in having the car idle for 5 minutes. Now, I think everybody understands that would be ludicrous, okay? But that's what this fucknut is saying to you, okay? He's telling you that your alternator your engine running for 5 minutes with just the alternator running would consume 25% of your fuel per day.
So let's work with 8, because that's the average. Now, if I had a more modern car with a bigger electrical system, 120 amp alternator, a 5-speed gearbox, so it's going to have a 3-to-1 step up, that electric generating efficiency would drop from 3.5 to 2.25%.
Well, I guess, again, says you. I just say these are preposterously stupid, idiotic, moronic numbers. All right? Nobody would put something that inefficient in a car, okay? General Motors, all these companies, for years, they tried to make fuel-efficient cars. There's no way, if they were losing 97% efficiency on the alternator, that they wouldn't fix the fucking thing.
So a modern car is going to be 1/4 as efficient as my Chinese 2-stroke generator at turning fuel into electricity. When you consider...
yeah, sorry, that's even preposterous, right? Because we all know that 2-stroke engines are shit, okay, on efficiency.
But to cruise on flat highway, this car only uses 25 horsepower to push the air out of the way and 1/3 of a horsepower for all the rolling resistance of the bearings and the wheels.
Yeah, 1/3 of a horsepower. You just hear that for all the wheels and the bearings, and yet he's saying 17 horsepower is going into the belt to drive the alternator. So he's saying, oh, it's only a horsepower for the wheels and the gearbox and all of that transmission is only sucking up a horsepower, but 17 horsepower just to turn a fucking alternator. Yeah, again, that just doesn't make any fucking sense, crazy man.
Commutative 8 horsepower going into the alternator is a very large fraction. If you consider that the battery is, by dint of my 6.5 minute average engine run time, and the alternator doesn't have time to put more than 70% of a charge into the battery in 6.5 minutes, the battery...
Yeah, well, again, if you're going to argue that if in 6.5 minutes of your alternator running, if you're going to argue to me that your alternator is not producing more electricity than your solar panel can produce in an entire day, okay, again, then I'm just going to flat out call you a crazy liar. All right? I mean, it's just, there's absolutely, that is nonsensical bullshit. Okay? That alternator creates a ton of electricity. Like I say, even in 1 minute of the alternator running, you probably get more energy, more electricity than your solar panel produces in a whole day. I said 5 minutes just to be outrageously generous. But, I mean, you're talking about a sustained 700 watts. I mean, there's no way your 30-watt panel can compete with that.
Stabilises at being 30% flat after 100 days or 3 months. And I've discovered that the flatness of the battery at rest equals the percentage of the fuel burn going into the battery. Because the flatter the battery, the shorter the average engine.
Well, again, the flatness of the battery, you want to keep talking about this crap, okay? Again, these are problems that could be mitigated against, okay? Logically, you could just say, okay, there's a problem with the charging system in the fact that it doesn't charge the battery completely, and that you're better off with a more complete charge on the battery. So you could just argue that, again, if you plug the car into another battery that is fully charged by the panel every day, that you could maintain that same high charge on the battery. But again, this is not going to save you 25% of your fuel burn.
Runtime. And the greater the percentage at your short average run times, which generally means you're doing 50 k's in town, 5 horsepower to push the actual car around with a gearbox, and you may be putting anywhere from 3 to 15 horsepower into the belt to run.
Again, so did you just hear that? So he's saying you're moving your car on 5 horsepower, but to turn the alternator you're using 17 horsepower. I mean, come on, this is face palm crazy.
The alternator to kiss and make up to the battery. So having a solar panel saves you having to run any petrol through the engine to finish recharging it from last time, because that's what the solar panel's done.
Yeah, and again, that can be done without the solar panel being on the car. It can be done with, you know, a lot of different ways, but, you know, theoretically, I could take the 2-stroke engine and I could run a little generator for 5 minutes and recharge the battery that way, and I'd still use a hell of a lot less fuel than what you're claiming to have saved with your solar panel. So again, it doesn't make any sense.
Any attempt to suggest the solar panel can't help the fuel burn situation?
Well, that's not the argument, is it? No, that wasn't the argument at all. Whether or not it's possible that it helps recharge batteries, no, it does do that. Okay, the argument is you're claiming, well, okay, I'll go with your second number, which was 20. First you said 25, and then you cut down to 20. A 20% savings in fuel burn. Okay, that's your claim, fucknut. Back it up.
Is predicated on wrong assumptions. Like the idea that it only works when the engine's running, whereas it's working right now, and the car's been sitting here for 2 days.
Well, who predicated it only works when the engine's running? The point is why would you put it on a moving car? There's no reason to. It's not the best angle to gain the sun's light. It's a dangerous thing in terms of its damage happening to it. You're modifying the car to put it on there. I mean, all the, you know, Honda admitted that the cars it's put solar panels on, it only did it for style reasons, that it has no practical utility. It only looks good. It only looks like it's fuel efficient, but it's not doing anything. And so you're smarter than Honda.
Nice. All right. Gary also got the shits at me for calling him an idiot for his suggestion that a car should have a wind turbine in the radiator grill so that it could be used for regenerative braking by connecting the windmill, as I call it. There's no semantic difference between a windmill and a wind turbine. Connecting the electric windmill to the...
Well, there is a difference when you're talking about a drag brake and you're talking about a windmill. Yeah, those are two different things.
The battery, he thought he could generate energy by braking the car.
Yeah, I'm not gonna continuously argue this, but in that video, I specifically said that was my first. These were thoughts that came to my head as I was making the video. You fucknut. That's how easy it is to think of better ideas than your idea. Okay? And right in the middle of the video, I said, no, wait, even better. Take a little generator like the one I had on my bicycle when I was a kid and put it on the fucking axle, put it on the 4 wheels, and engage it when you're braking. Yeah, that's even better. That's what I said. So deal with this idea that it would be better to generate electricity in braking. Duh.
Because when you're driving the car downhill, there's an awful lot of kinetic energy stored in it. But, Gary, how many people drive their car downhill all day?
Oh, you fucknut. You're just too fucking stupid. You're really too fucking stupid. You drive up to stop signs. You have go into traffic and there's people in front of you and you have to slow down. There's a million times you hit your brakes where you're not slamming your brakes on. You have to slow the car down because you're going into an intersection. Well, every single time you do that, it would be better if you were generating electricity instead of generating heat. Duh.
Roll the car downhill and recapture some of the energy that you burnt in the engine to push it back up the hill. I would submit that any car with a fixed base of operation spends exactly as much time driving uphill as it does driving downhill.
And again, this would have absolutely nothing to do with what I'm talking about, because guess what? When you're going uphill, you wouldn't have the drag brakes engaged, right? They would only be engaged when you're braking. drag brake. Brake. Brake.
On any daily, weekly or monthly cycle. Otherwise, you'd have to go somewhere else with it every day, wouldn't you?
Man, you really are not very smart. You don't even understand this concept that heat is the biggest way to, if you want to waste energy, yeah, create heat in a mechanical device. And any heat that you recover or replace with anything's better than heat, right? So if you create any mechanism that does anything, it could compress a gas for your air conditioner. It could do a lot of different things to slow the car down and regain what you would have wasted on heat. Duh, this is not complicated. It's being used right now. The technology is being used in electric cars right now, okay? The generator's engaged when you're braking, okay? It engages the generator to create a drag and generate electricity to put back in the battery.
However, you want to measure the ridiculousness of Gary's ideas? Here we have a wind turbine with an electric generator, and we've put it on the radiator grill just so we can see how much it increases the drag profile of the car and how much energy it's going to make.
Well, I just can you know I don't even know why I went through this much trouble. I mean, really, do you think that was what my idea was? I mean, you really think that's what I was talking about? Something that silly? I was talking about a big fan, a big wheel inside the front of the car, okay, and that it runs free as long as the car's driving. But as soon as you need to brake the car, there's a generator attached to it that engages like an alternator, and all of a sudden now it drags. It creates just a wall of drag.
3 parts of 2/10 of 5/16 of sweet fuck all, Gary. Ridiculous idea. If you want to use aerodynamics to brake the car, then what you're going to have is a series of parachutes across the back, and every time you put your foot on...
Well, look, you put a sunfoil up on that roof, right? You know right there that you changed the efficiency of the profile of the car with that sunfoil because of the way you designed it. And you know just as well, I could argue to you, that if you right there put a foil right on the back there that closed down, that shut down, that would create drag, okay? And that you could use that drag to slow the car down and not create heat. But again, that would be just solid drag. It wouldn't be generating any electricity. But if that was a fan or some other mechanism that could roll or spin, if that was engaged, if that would flip down, a little squirrel cage fan dropped right down off the back here, right? Dropped right down and started spinning, that would create maybe 3%, 4%, 5% more drag, okay? And that you would gain electricity from it. Free electricity. You would replace heat with electricity.
Brake, you're going to pop a parachute 28-foot diameter, just like the drag cars use, to try and slow down from 160 or 180 miles an hour to, less than 60 miles an hour, so that they're not going to burn their brakes out, trying to stop on the short end of the drag strip. And then you're going to have to either cut the parachute loose and ignore it, treat it as pollution, or stop your car entirely and...
Well, again, this isn't anything I argued for. But the idea of a spinning parachute in the back isn't that bad an idea, to tell you the truth. The ones with the holes in them that spin, you might be able to use the spinning action to gain some electricity. But like I said, the way I would go is, just as I stated in my video, is by putting generators on the axles. Okay? That's the way to go. Little generators on the axles, and bingo. That's all. It's got to be all good. There's no way that could be a loser.
We pack the parachute for next time. No, Gary, aerodynamics is not a way of regeneratively braking a motor car. It is a foolish idea.
Yeah, and let me point out that these little generators would produce as much electricity as that whole big 30-watt panel. You could buy little generators for they'd cost maybe $20. There'd be 30, 40-watt generators on each one of those wheels. So you could be generating 160 watts and regaining the energy you're losing to braking.
Idiot would suggest it. As for the idea that solar panels have to be exactly perpendicular, otherwise...
Well, no one was arguing they have to be exactly perpendicular, but just as you do with your tower of power, or whatever you call it, your triangle of doom, you point it at the sun because they're more efficient that way, and you know it. Okay, so again, nobody was saying it has to be pointed at the sun directly. What they're arguing is that every bit of indirectness decreases efficiency. Duh.
You don't make any power out of them.
Again, so that's what I mean. That's where you're just a bald-faced, is that the bald-faced liar. You won't find any quote that says that. You won't find anybody who's making that argument. I've never certainly said anything that's silly or retarded. So that's a lie. You've just lied. You don't understand how that's a lie? Nobody has said solar panels only work if they're pointed at the sun. No one said that.
Well, using that cigarette lighter as a gnomon to assure perpendicularity, we've got 2.22 volts open circuit. We have 2.2 amps open circuit, and that is a 12 volt 5 amp motor drawing 0.8 of an amp with 19 volts. Same panel flat, 21.11 volts, 1.7 amps. 0.8 of an amp, the motor's slightly slower, 17.2 volts.
Yeah, this means something to anybody. No, sorry, no sale, fella. Like I said, you're going to lose efficiency with every degree of disinclination, or whatever you call that, of not being perpendicular to the sun. With every degree you're not perpendicular, you're going to lose a percentage of efficiency. Fact. That's a fact.
The difference between flat and perpendicular at 10 o'clock in the morning is around about 10-15%. Gary, that's all the difference that it makes.
Well, 10 or 15% at 10 o'clock. So you're talking about an angle that's 45 degrees and you tried this and this. Right? Not exactly a brilliant way to test the efficiency of a panel. Thank you very much.
Because the sun foil is thermosiphon cooled, and cooling a solar panel increases its power output by as much as 30%, this reaches its 1.69 amp maximum power even when flat. I'm right because I've done the experiment. Ciao.
Oh yes, you're right. Because you've done the experiment. Well, yeah, I'm too bad the manufacturer doesn't know that. Yeah, right. Oh, you just sorry, Warbles, no sale. And such. It still doesn't undo the simple argument. I could run my car for 5 minutes and get the full output from the alternator. The amount of electricity it will create in that 5 minutes will be more electricity than your solar panel will produce in an entire day. So again, your argument is that you're saving 5 minutes of car runtime, and that somehow that equals 20% of your fuel burn. That sounds like crap. Because it is crap. Thank you very much. Whoa, a little bit of an add-on maybe. Yeah, I forgot to mention, since, I might as well make this an update video, because I'll put this on YouTube, because Warbles doesn't do the other website thing, so I'll put this response video on YouTube for that reason. And so, yeah, it's a little fucked up, because I already posted a video on YouTube this weekend. Well, anyway, so there's the MP3 from the Termcast Internet Radio Show, so I figure I might as well promote that. I'll be promoting it other times also. Yeah, it's just this interview thing, with Adam Guy. And yeah, I think it went okay, and such. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it wasn't bad. Yeah, it's perfectly adequate. You know, and such. All right. The co-hosts and such, you know, old fans involved in Samari, you know. So I mean, it's you know, it's good. Yeah, trust me. Anyway, so the other, okay, so yeah, we'll start here anyway. Yeah, so that's the YouTube video, the, oh yeah, the fuck the charity thing. Yeah, well, people are just, well, it doesn't matter. People are just assholes. I'm really not worried about it. I don't care if I piss somebody off. Takers is a good video. This is basic biology. Yeah, so again, this is this Andy guy, and he's just, you know, he's always trying to connect sex with procreation, and the two things are not connected for civilized people. The key, this is sort of just explaining the book idea and, you know, making this great argument, the perfect argument, and that's what we're really trying to do. Bonnie, this was a great video. Okay, so really, I like it a lot. I really like this video. Hopefully it'll do some viral thing or something. It's a good video. This is Andy guy again, talking about imposers and tyrants, and quite obviously, you know, people who have kids are imposing their will on something else. It engages the rules of ethics. I mean, it's just obvious. So this is Andy again versus authority from ignorant nature. Yeah, so nature made me do it kind of argument. Alright, and this is the last YouTube video before the dump on the poor video. Okay, so there's still 5 or 6 videos there, so that's enough. But anyway, sorry, I don't really want to do YouTube videos. I want to avoid it. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Quantum test picks uncertainty. What is this? Pioneering experiments has cast doubt on the founding idea of the branch of physics called quantum mechanics. That's interesting. Cast doubt on a founding idea. Well, that would be interesting to know what founding idea it cast doubt on. Quantum test pricks uncertainty. Pioneers experiment has cast doubt on. Why can't you just get to it? What the hell? Relies on painting, strokes, more depression, and blah blah blah. Same bullshit. Forget the dude was born in 18. Okay, yeah, that's the Schopenhauer thing. Yeah, I don't know what this quantum crap was. I guess I'll have to go research it and see. So, okay, but at least the person knew how to use the link properly. So bravo for that. Quantum test. Oh, this doesn't look like real scientists to me. Yeah, but we'll see. Look, they got a bunch of mirrors, yeah, lenses, and they're gonna shoot laser beams to prove quantum stuff. Okay. I'm not gonna like this, I don't think. But anyway. I mean, unless they want to prove the two-slit experiment is lensing, that would be really cool, because that's what I think it is. I think it's just lensing. Common phenomenon. Anyway, we'll get to that some other time. Probably. I don't think there's anything else I have to report. This probably won't get posted till Sunday. Because I don't have time. Such.